Food is so far away.
Should I say something?
Daddy, pick me up. Mom!
Hey, there's a line here.
Daddy, swing me.
It's like 20 people. One person holds the line for 20 people? This is bull.
Don't go there. Go on a vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com. Robin Light Wellness Spa, how can I help you today?
Hi there. I'd like to make an appointment for next week.
Excellent. Does Tuesday 9 a.m. work?
Mornings are when I go to Taco Bell to get my bacon breakfast quesadilla.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't like missing out on those fluffy eggs and crispy bacon covered in melty cheeses.
Oh, I understand. Let's see what I have in the afternoon.
Namaste. Try the bacon breakfast quesadilla only at Taco Bell. Repeat participating with Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Contact local store for hours of participation fair. It could be information to change your life forever. Or the Something You Should Know podcast could just be something interesting.
Patrick McGinnis is actually the guy who first coined the phrase fear of missing out. This reminds me of when you're in the supermarket and you're always worried you're going to pick the slowest line, and inevitably you do.
Part of what helps us to overcome that is a sense of gratitude. Those 3 seconds, if you can just use that time to be appreciative of what you have, you will not be focusing on what you don't have.
Something you should know wherever you listen.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440. Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Publix Supermarket. At Publix, they want to help you get the items you love for less, which is why they have all kinds of ways to save. Shop smart with digital coupons, weekly sales, and buy one get one deals. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Mostly sunny skies for your Wednesday. Temperatures up around 94. It will be a hot day and a humid day, feeling like the middle and upper 90s, but no rain expected today. Clear skies tonight down to 70 degrees, 97 for tomorrow. A mix of sun and clouds. It will feel like it's closer to 100, and there could be a spotty shower or storm tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Then we're cooler, slightly cooler at least, and less humid for the weekend. That's the First Alert Forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now, things are looking pretty good. Nothing's being reported by the authorities that would send anyone on an alternate route. We checked with the surrounding counties. They're clear as well. Interstate systems moving into the Tri-County area from Clinton, Albany, Greenville. No problems on 231 south out of Wetumpka, north out of Troy. Whether your credit is perfect or just plain bad, approval for an equity loan on your home or land is a phone call away. But you have to call. Call the 18 at MCS in Wetumpka, 5679000, NMLS 232876. Buckle up, it's the law. From Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
Why are you driving around town on those old ball tires? Do you like living dangerously? Say no to old ball and dangerous. For all your tire needs, Chico Auto Pro, 239-95.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams with WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Wednesday. A convicted murderer who's been sitting on death row for more than 20 years won't be put to death this week. Alan Miller was originally scheduled to die by nitrogen hypoxia. The Alabama Department of Corrections says it's not ready to use that untested execution method. And it does grant it a stay of execution. Police have identified a suspect in a hit and run that happened earlier this month in Prattville. They're looking for Robert Marshall Jr. Raz Pickett died in that incident. It happened on September 4th on Green Stockfield Road just before 7:30 that night. Police are asking the suspect to come himself in. The Barber County School District has been struggling for years, facing an ongoing teacher shortage. Now the district is offering sinus bonuses and providing instructional coaches to work with students in subjects like math, science, and reading. I'm Jasmine Williams with WSFA 12 News, and these are your morning headlines.
From cutting grass to planting fields, you need the right equipment from a team you can count on. SunSouth, we have 21 locations ready to serve you with the quality John Deere equipment to manage your property faster, more efficiently, and more affordably. Like the John Deere 1025R tractor with loader starting at only $255 a month. So why wait another season to do more? Find the John Deere that's right for you. Come see us at SunSouth. Equipment for those that do.
Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Expires September 30th, 2022.
Hey, I'm just
like to get paid to work out? Yes, I said get paid to work out. Now you can with ISSA, the global leader in personal fitness certification. If you're interested in a money-making career in fitness as a personal trainer, now is your time because ISSA is guaranteeing you will get a job. That's right, there's a huge demand for certified personal trainers right now. So once you get ISSA certified, they guarantee you will get a job. Just text FORM to 323232 now to get
I don't want to be a personal trainer.
everything at your own pace.
Nope, don't want to do that job.
Get certified and train like you want, full-time at a
I'm
gym,
good.
at home, or as a side hustle.
Can't even train my own self.
Don't
Let
wait
alone somebody
another day to
else.
start your career in fitness.
Alrighty
Get certified and
then,
start
Santa
making money fast,
Bling.
guaranteed.
Alrighty
Just text
then.
FORM to 323232 right now to get started with your ISSA certification for free. Text the word FORM to 323232.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So, if you're self employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE. You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthy. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
He's the voice of the conservative millennial.
Ben Shapiro.
The Ben Shapiro Show, tonight at 8 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
Here we go.
Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change
I love to shine.
to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It's time to rise and shine once again, if you can. For it is another day, one more, that the ground's on, well, you're on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. Good morning. It is September the 21st, 2022 AD. It is time for our daily bread, a word from on high, a word that will change your perspective or give you a new one. Either way it goes, it's good for the soul. Good morning. Today's daily bread is simply entitled Living Water. I think you've heard that one before. Living water. The scripture insight today comes from John 7:37 through 39. John 7:37 says, let anyone who is thirsty come to me and drink. Govern yourselves accordingly. Good morning to you. And again, it is September the 21st, 2022 AD. It, like all the other days of the past, has never been, and it shall never, ever come again. You don't get a do over, you don't get it back, you don't get to summon it from the past once it's gone. You don't get to come back and do all the things you should have done this day, but you didn't. You don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that you do. So, whatever it is that you do this day, make sure that tomorrow should be. Do your best to make sure that you'll be proud of what you have done on this day. Like I say every morning, because each morning is a new day. If you have lived a while, you've seen, you've heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace of God and a lot of mercy thrown in, we may, I'm not sure, but we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day that is the first day of the rest of your life. What are you going to do with it? Well, whatever you do, while you can, as long as you can, until you can't, reach back and help somebody else along the way. Benjamin Elijah May said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well that no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say, if that is the standard by which you live your life, you will always be successful. Oh, you'll fail at a thing or two. We all do. But you, personally, won't ever be a failure until you quit. We say, give out if you must, rest if you can. But you never quit. You never give up. You keep moving. Martin Luther King said, if you can't run, walk. And if you can't walk, crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. Don't ever quit. Because quitters don't win. And winners, where they may fail at a thing or two, they never quit. September the 21st. And no matter what happens to you this day, it is still, like all the other days of old, a great day to be alive. Living water. That is our daily bread for this day, September the 21st, 2022. We'll be back, hopefully.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Our reading titled Living Water was written by Patricia Raven. The cut flowers came from Ecuador. By the time they arrived at my house, they were droopy and road weary. Instructions said, revive them with a cool drink of refreshing water. Before that, however, the flower stems had to be trimmed so they could drink the water more easily. But would they survive? The next morning, I discovered my answer. The Ecuadorian bouquet was a glorious sight, featuring flowers I'd never seen before. Fresh water made all the difference, a reminder of what Jesus said about water and what it means to believers. When Jesus asked a Samaritan woman for a drink of water in John chapter 4, implying he'd drink from what she fetched from the well, he changed her life. She was surprised by his request. Jews looked down on Samaritans, but Jesus said, if you knew the gift of God and who it is that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him and he would have given you living water. Later in the temple, he cried out, let anyone who is thirsty come to me and drink. Among those who believed in him, rivers of living water will flow from within them. By this he meant the Spirit, whom those who believed in him were later to receive. God's refreshing Spirit revives us today when we're life weary. He's the living water, dwelling in our souls with holy refreshment. May we drink deeply today. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from John chapter 7, verses 37 through 39. On the last and greatest day of the festival, Jesus stood and said in a loud voice, "Let anyone who is thirsty come to me and drink. Whoever believes in me, as scripture has said, rivers of living water will flow from within them." By this he meant the Spirit, whom those who believed in him were later to receive. Up to that time, the Spirit had not been given, since Jesus had not yet been glorified. Let's pray. Loving God, when life leaves us road weary and thirsty, remind us that you are Ruach, the very air we breathe and the living water that sustains us. Renew our spirit and give us strength when we are exhausted and can't go on. Thank you, Lord Jesus. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Thanks for listening today. My name is Joyce Dinkins, and today's encouragement was provided
Well,
by
thank you,
Our
Joyce.
Daily
I
Bread
appreciate that.
Ministries.
Okay, time to rise. Time to get up. Time to go to work.
Oh, kick.
Airborne.
Here we go, all the way.
Time to rise and shine, people. Little PT this morning. Airborne. Every day we run to the sun.
No sweat.
Not yet. Down in the mess hall on my knees. We got nothing to eat but a can of beans. The bread was moldy and the meat was bad. Well, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Here we go. All the way. Gotta be rough and tough. All the way. When I was young, I always wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne, easing the breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight. All the way, airborne. It's a great day to be airborne, everybody. It's a great day. Oh, except for the legs. Airborne, all the way, driving on. Early one morning. In the drizzling rain, well, I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light lead with the green glow. All the way, airborne, all the way, driving on. Driving on. All the way, driving on. Hey, driving on. Here we go. All the way. Gotta be rough and tough. All the way. All right, now time for the PT. We gotta run. What's the day? Okay, one more day of PT, then we can get out of here. We can stop running this week. One more day. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Woo! Work. There we go. Hard work. All right, PT. That's what they say. Hard work. I earn my pay. Hard work. I get up about 2:45 and earn my pay. Oh yeah, I'm warming up. Hard work. That's what they say. Hard work. I do it for play. Hard work. Oh, hard work. Woo! Hard work. Let's go to work. Oh, Joe. Hard work. That's what they say. Hard work. I do it for play. Hard work. Oh yeah. Oh, let's do it. Woo! Hard work. Hard work. Come on now. Hard work. Come on, everybody. Pick them feet up. for play. Come on. Woo. Hard work. Hard work. Get them on down. Hard work. Oh, I'm done. Woo. Hard work. Hard work. Woo. Are we done yet? Hard work. Come on now. Woo. Okay, now we go. Woo! Oh, I'm getting too old for this PT, but we're gonna do it 4 days a week. So you know, we got this. We got this. We're rolling because we ain't gonna quit, or we're not gonna quit. Maybe some kids have to listen this morning. Got to use that proper grammar. You know, you can't use that ghetto grammar. You know what I'm saying? Although I understand ghetto grammar pretty good. Anyway, good morning to you. Now let us pay homage to all of our armed forces of these United States of America. Be it Alabama's only paratrooper that's on the airways, it is my responsibility to make sure that everybody knows that freedom is not free. Somebody has to pull maintenance on it. That's for you guys. I did my part. Now you need to do your part. And the generation after you needs to do their part. All right? Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Can y'all do me a favor, though? The current the generation coming up, can y'all lose some weight? I mean, come on, man. The generals are all complaining that you guys coming in too fat. Get outside, do something. That's what I'm talking. Do some PT in the morning or something. Anyway, good morning to you, to Montgomery Police Department, as well as the Sheriff Department. Good morning to his mayor, although the mayor, I think, is in Washington, D.C., kissing up right now. But then again, he knew he had his budget thing squared away, so he went up there. Okay. I think he knows more about Washington, D.C. almost didn't know about Montgomery. I love him, though. Don't get me wrong, but, you know, he stay home more. Anyway, good morning to you. And to the Sheriff Department. I get the Sheriff Department. Okay, kissed up enough there. That's fine. But more importantly, we dedicate these songs to all the people who go in when everybody else is running out. Good morning to you, Montgomery. It's time to rise and shine. And it's a great day to be on top of the ground rather than the ground on top of you. Can I get an amen? That's what I'm talking about.
To the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air on the Dead Sea. First they fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor free. We are proud to claim the titles of the United States.
Thank you. Hey. Don't worry, no clapping hands and stuff of that nature. I'm just a mini hero. I'm not the hero. I'm a mini. I'm not Audie Murphy, anybody like that. So don't worry about that. You know, those were the heroes. Anyway, good morning to you. How's everybody doing? Now, you know, before I take my first break, I know people say I've been breaking since I've been here this morning. I feel you on that. I got my coffee cooking in another room over there. I need a producer to go get my coffee. They got to start treating me like I'm somebody special around here. You know, I got to get my own coffee. Got to clean my own thing around here. You know, got to open my own doors. You know, somebody forgot to tell the help that I'm special, and you got to do those things for me, But until then, I'll keep getting my own coffee and open and closing my own doors and everything like that until somebody realizes that I'm who I am. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, that's a story that's going around America right now to show you just how idiotic our kids are and their parents for not displaying discipline. And I'm always talking about that word discipline. There's never been anybody that's ever been successful without it. No one. There's been nobody in the history of mankind that didn't have to sacrifice something to accomplish something else. It's all part of what's that Lion King song? The circle of life. It's all part of the circle of life. You cannot be successful unless you also are sacrificial. You have to be willing to sacrifice something in order to get something. Now here's what's happening in America today, around the world. I don't really care about the rest of the world. I mean, we got our own world right over here. Okay, but here's what's happening. There's another Facebook challenge or YouTube challenge, whatever challenge it is, whatever you want to call it. But now it's about frying chicken. Now you said to yourself, okay, well, what's so difficult about frying chicken? Now normally you take the chicken out of the you take the chicken out the bag and you throw a little grease in the pot and you cut the chicken up to 8 quarters or 4 quarters or 8 half quarters, however you want to do it. You cut them right down the middle. You feel bad for the chicken because first of all, he's sitting there on your cutting board and he butt naked. I mean, chicken's butt naked already. He already feeling bad. He butt naked in front of God and everybody, and now you're finna cut him up and put his ass in some hot grease. I'm already feeling bad for the chicken. Really, I am feeling bad for the chicken. However, I'm not really feeling that bad for the chicken, but the good Lord put chickens here for us to eat some chicken, like the pig and stuff like that. But the chicken's already having a bad day. Okay. But now comes along the undisciplined, the unknowing, and the stupid. Now it's hard enough. It's tough enough. It's tough enough to be a chicken and get fried. I mean, how would you like to be a fried chicken? That's right. You would need it. I don't. Hey, thank God I was born a guy, a man, a human being rather than a chicken. Because life expectancy for chickens, depending on what neighborhood you're in, it's not too long. Okay, especially if I'm around and you're inside of Popeyes. Okay, it's over. I'm coming to get you. Okay, it's not a matter of if. It's just a matter of when. Okay. Now, so anyway, let me digress. So I'm reading the story last night about people frying chicken. Now, this is not your ordinary frying chicken process. The process is not them. Okay, it's just not their thing. So again, I've already give you the details of how tough it is to be a chicken anyway. It's tough to be a chicken. You're born there, you're clicking around, you're having a good time. You're doing the chicken walk in the chicken yard at the chicken factory. You think life is good, and all of a sudden somebody reaches down and grabs you by the neck, and it's over. It's tough enough to be a chicken already. Okay, it really is. Come on. Would you want to be a chicken? All of a sudden you're walking around, you're a big dog in the chicken pen, and all of a sudden somebody reaches in, bam, and now your world's finna go to crap. Okay, because now there's another chicken that's gonna be the big chicken. Okay, in the chicken yard. Okay. However, let me digress. Well, now the chickens have something else to worry about. Okay, they do. They have something else to worry about now. Now it's NyQuil. No. I didn't make a mistake in saying that. NyQuil. There is a challenge going on in America with idiots. Because now they want you to fry chicken and NyQuil. Now, not understanding that most drugs, if you change the component of the drug by whatever means necessary, by adding stuff to it, taking stuff off of it, boiling it, whatever, you change the properties of a drug, which can have severe consequences on you, your nose, and your health, and probably some loved ones. But anyway, you see, this, so the challenge is to cook your chicken. The chicken already catching hell. Now we want to cook the chicken in NyQuil. Okay. Now, if you see your child, if your child is trying to cook chicken in NyQuil, please slap him. Okay. Slap him and put him in his room, take away his computer, take away his TV, and give him a book, preferably the Bible, to read, because he needs some guidance. Okay, so obviously somewhere along the line you messed up. Okay, if you got a child that think you can cook a chicken in NyQuil, then you messed up. Okay, you did. I'm not blaming this on the kid. You messed up, because if you raise a child that's stupid, okay, I'm putting that on you. Okay, I'm putting that one on you, because discipline is nowhere to be found. See, this is why I rail about discipline. Okay, there's no disciplined child that would try to cook a chicken in NyQuil. I'm just saying. Okay, I mean, so all the things the chickens got to worry about now, okay, getting plucked out of the place, doing the chicken strut, somebody trying to put them in a hot thing of grease, all these things. Now the chicken has to work, and we don't really know what happens to the chicken once you try to cook him in NyQuil. I guess he's gonna be asleep a while. I mean, again, I don't know. Are we trying to put the chicken to sleep? Okay, I'm just saying, maybe we don't need to put the kid in jail. Maybe need to put the parent in jail. Because if you haven't taught your child enough about life, the circle of life, about, and if your child really believes that you should cook a chicken in NyQuil, you need to go to that school, whichever school he goes to, and ask the principal and the teachers to be relieved. I'm just telling you, because somebody is not doing their job. And that is the weird story of today. Okay. So just let's be clear. You cannot cook chicken in NyQuil. Now, if you need to go in the kitchen and see what's happening in the kitchen, I'm feeling you. You might need to go down there and check out what's going on in the kitchen. Okay. And if you see a bunch of NyQuil boxes, I need you to call the people with the white suits on, the white coats on. Or do we have people with white coats on anymore? Okay, I don't even think we have people with white coats anymore. I'm just saying, okay, chicken already had it tough enough. Now we're gonna cook the chicken in NyQuil on a challenge from some idiot on YouTube or Facebook. Okay, I'm just saying, but I ain't blaming the child. No, I'm not blaming the child. I'm blaming all of his teachers and the principals of the school that he attends. Because obviously logic and reason is not being taught in school anymore. I'm just saying. All right, 6:39 in the morning. So please, you need to go in the freezer and see whether or not the chicken you had in there is still there. Of course, the chicken might have ran away. Because once they heard about the NyQuil thing, they probably opened the freezer themselves and got the hell out of there. But anyway, we'll be back right after this. You guys didn't know I could make such a big deal out of chicken, did you? I know you didn't. It's not the chicken. It's the two-legged chicken. We'll be back. Reason to pretend. When it's right, you find the joy. Yes, that's the game.
Sept First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Indeed.com. Summer is winding down, but business needs keep ramping up. Check out Indeed, the all-in-one hiring solution that helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Mostly sunny skies for your Wednesday. Temperatures up around 94. It will be a hot day and a humid day, feeling like the middle and upper 90s, but no rain expected today. Clear skies tonight down near 70 degrees, 97 for tomorrow. A mix of sun and clouds. It will feel like it's closer to 100, and there could be a spotty shower or storm tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Then we're cooler, slightly cooler at least, and less humid for the weekend. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors.
Highway and Southeast Boulevard is narrow lane. Be careful in both of those areas. Narrow lane, that's with injury. Learn to be a heavy equipment operator at Trenham State. Registration's now open. Get trained and hired fast. Trenham State, skills for success. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
Why are you driving around town on those old bald tires? Do you like living dangerously? Say no to old, bald, and dangerous. For all your tire needs, Chico's Auto Pros, 239-9510.
After capturing the hearts of esports fans in Rocket League, Moist Esports is hoping to do it again in Apex Legends. In a high-profile move, owner Moist Critical announced that they signed the roster of Team Burger, a team with no ties to a major organization who made an impressive showing during the Apex Legends Global Series events last year. Moist Esports followed the same strategy for Rocket League and found great success, so history will likely repeat itself in the quickly growing esport.
The latest esports and gaming news. Find it online at checkpointxp.com.
Everyone who's manning the front to Big E's nightclub needs a bouncer with a military background. I need to keep eyes on the back. Security who lays down the no when the get too intense. That's what Indeed do is back tonight. Remember last time. Indeed can help them hire great people fast. I need Indeed. Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458, 800-481-1458, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
Thousands of people contact InventHelp monthly about their invention or new product. Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Call InventHelp now. Best of all, the call and information are free. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential, explaining every step of the invention process. Join people just like you who made the call to InventHelp.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
Ben here with Just Blinds in Prattville. On behalf of the Myers family and our entire team here at Just Blinds, we want to sincerely thank you for selecting Just Blinds as the best, your #1 choice for blinds, shutters, and drapes in Central Alabama. Just Blinds has been delivering on our family's commitment to provide quality window treatments at affordable prices and to deliver the absolute best in customer service before, during, and after the sale for over 35 years. Please visit us online at gojustblinds.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson of Case Legal Media is responsible for the content of this ad. Attention all military members or military families or contractors that spent time at Marine Base Camp Lejeune. If you or a family member have lived, worked, or served at Camp Lejeune at any time from 1953 to 1987, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Call 800-320-9047 now to see if you qualify. That's right. Marines, their families, employees, contractors, and anyone who lived, worked, or served at Camp Lejeune may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Studies have found the water at Camp Lejeune was contaminated with toxic chemicals for decades, causing serious health conditions such as cancer, Parkinson's, leukemia, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Congress has approved, and President Biden has signed a new law allowing anyone that spent time at the base to seek the justice they deserve. Billions have been set aside for victims of toxic water claims. If you or a loved one was at Camp Lejeune at any time through 1987 and developed a serious health condition, you or your family may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Hurry, time is limited. Call 800-320-9047. That's 800-320-9047. 800-320-9047.
You're like most Americans. You're pretty much in disbelief with what's going on in the world. As we all know, global problems are having local consequences. Too many of them. If the peanut butter really hits the fan, are you ready? Grocery store supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Don't wait for them to break. Now's the time to secure emergency food for everyone in your family. My Patriot Supply is America's largest. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. It'll be there when you need it. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and pick up several emergency food kits. There are a dozen different sizes that average over 2,000
I don't know.
Quickly and discreetly to your door. Having food storage in your home beats government food lines hands down. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today and prepare for what's coming. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Listen, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just
Well, cappuccino ain't bad. Cappuccino ain't bad. I guess cappuccino's for rich people, though. That's why it probably tastes so good to me.
I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Cappuccino. That's for rich people. I accidentally found some in the storage room the other day. Don't even taste like coffee. It tastes like, I don't know what it tastes like, but it's good. Cappuccino is for the the rich people like us who go to Starbucks. I'm just saying, you might want to try some, see how we live, see how we roll. Mm. Yeah, that's what you want to see. Okay.
Sundays at 3 p.m.
Well, let me get back to work here.
Chinese, the Russians don't fear Joe Biden.
On News Radio 1440.
Okay. She wants it that way. Okay. So I went and got my cappuccino. You know, I see cappuccino for the intelligentsia of us who have brains and have money. Okay, I got one. I got one of the two. So now I know what it's like to drink coffee at Starbucks. Because cappuccino is for us rich people. Okay. I'm rich in my own mind. Okay, but I identify as being rich. Okay, identify as being rich. So I mean, if everybody else can identify as something, then I might as well identify as being rich too. So that's why next time I go past Starbucks, I'm gonna go in there and say, "Give me an espresso." See, I would imagine that an espresso has got to be like cappuccino. It's the coffee that we all drink that we know other people cannot afford. Okay, like when Steve Harvey came to town a couple years ago at the Alabama State Turkey Day Classic, he said something that I will never forget. He said, "Rich people don't have the same conversations that poor people have." And I would imagine that us people who drink cappuccino probably, we don't really know about this, you people who don't drink cappuccino. We don't really know what you're talking about, okay? Because we have different conversations on different levels. I'm just saying. So now, if you want to talk to me in the street, just tell me, first I'm going to ask you, do you drink cappuccino? And if you don't know what cappuccino is, then we can't hold the conversation. It's over. Right then and there, it's over. I'm just saying. You might want to think about that before you see me on the streets and ask me questions. But let's talk about something a little bit more important right now. Okay, my cappuccino is going to be there when I get back, hopefully. The word of the day. The word of the day, well, it reminds me of me. Okay, the word of the day means deserving imitation. Thank you very much. Thank you. It means commendable, deserving imitation because of excellence. See, it sounds okay. So this word, I identified this word. I identified this word. This word is good. And the word itself is exemplary, exemplary. Okay, it means deserving imitation. So, you can, if your teacher says you have done exemplary work, if your employer says having you do exemplary work, well, you know that you can ask for a raise. Now, make sure he uses that word, though. Okay, deserving of imitation because of excellence. Lord, if we could just get our young folks to understand that today. Okay, a lot of them understand, but now they're too busy cooking chicken and NyQuil. Okay, chicken and NyQuil. I'm just telling you something wrong with that. But we'll get to that later. Chicken and NyQuil. But the word of the day is exemplary, okay, which means deserving of imitation, commendable, deserving imitation because of excellence. That's where everybody wants to be like me, okay, because I'm exemplary. Now, the life lesson. What is life lesson? Life lesson is a lesson that you learn only by living. Now, you can hear about these things. You can hear about these things, but it's like running the mile. You can sit on the sideline all you want to and think you can run the mile, but you'll never know until you actually run the mile. Okay? There's some things you cannot learn from a book. Some things you must experience. And these is one of these things. In order to be truly successful in life, let your dreams be bigger than your fears. Let your actions speak louder than your words. And let your faith be stronger than your feelings. Because, Democrats got feelings. It don't mean much a whole lot of time. But they think you should support things because you got a feeling. I got a feeling about that. Okay, then. All right, then. So I'm saying it one more time, then I'm moving on to the things that happened this day. In order to be truly successful, or at least put yourself on the path of successfulness, let your dreams be bigger than your fears. Let your actions speak louder than your words, and your faith a lot stronger than your feelings. Okay? And then when you can do all of that, you will be exemplary. Moving right along. Today is September the 21st. Believe it or not, there are only 101 days left in this year. It is the 264th day of the year. On this day in 1985, in North Korea and Seoul, Korea, family members who had been separated for decades were allowed to visit each other as both countries opened their borders in an unprecedented family reunion program. 1792, the French National Convention voted to abolish the monarchy. Outstanding. Somebody needs to tell Britain about that. In 1893, one of America's first horseless carriages was taken for a short test drive in Springfield, Massachusetts by Frank Duryea, or something close to that, who had designed the vehicle with his brother Charles. Do you know the first traffic ticket was given? I forget. I think it was in Boston, somewhere near up there. And he was going 7 miles per hour. They gave the brother a ticket. Okay, 7 miles per hour. Okay, so I guess back in the day, like 5 miles an hour was the traffic speed. Okay, because they wasn't sure exactly what the hell he was going to do with that horseless carriage back in the day. So it sucked to be him, the first guy to get a ticket for only going 7 miles per hour. 1912, magician Harry Houdini first publicly performed his water torture cell trick at the Circus Busch in Berlin. I guess Harry didn't come back because that was one of the things that Harry said he was going to do. I don't know. Maybe it will. 1938, a hurricane struck parts of New York and New England, causing widespread damage, claiming about 700 lives. And that was 1938. In 1970, NFL Football Night made its debut on ABC TV as the Cleveland Browns defeated the visiting New York Jets 31-21. Yeah, they did my man Howard Cosell wrong. Okay, I'm just saying I'll never forgive them for firing Howard Cosell. Howard Cosell was an interesting man. 1981, the Senate unanimously, that means everybody, confirmed the nomination of Sandra Day O'Connor to become the first female justice on the Supreme Court. I don't know if we were better off because of that or not. 1987 was the year NFL players called a strike. Like, who cared? Do you really think I care about rich people striking? I didn't care if they never went back to work. Anyway, over the issue of free agency, the 24-day walkout prompted football owners to hire a replacement player. Okay, I ain't gonna lie to you. I watched some of those games. Okay, 87, yeah, I was in Honolulu somewhere. Yeah. No, I didn't really watch too many games. We didn't get too many games over there in 87. Yeah, we got we got a lot of soccer things going on, but we didn't really get much American football. Okay, so I went to my Samoan buddies and we watched the hula hula dancing thing going on. Okay, I forgot all about the football once I started watching that stuff. Anyway, okay, 1989 Hurricane Hugo crashed into Charleston, South Carolina. The storm was blamed for 56 deaths in the Caribbean and 29 in the United States. 21 students in Alton, Texas died when their school bus was hit by a soft drink delivery truck, careened into a water-filled pit. I don't really understand the design of buses. They're the ugliest vehicles on the road. And I don't really know if I think they finally put seatbelts on them though. I think they did. I know I ain't been on a bus in a long time. 1996, President Bill Jefferson Clinton, Biden, Jefferson, whatever the hell his name was, signed the Defense of Marriage Act denying federal recognition for same-sex marriages a day after saying that the law should not be used as an excuse for discrimination. So what are you signing for? Anyway, violence or intimidation against gays and lesbians. Although never formally repealed, DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, was effectively overturned by the Supreme Court decision in 2013 and 2015. And in 2001, Congress again opened a federal coffers to those harmed by terrorism, providing $15 billion, to the airlines industry, which was suffering mounting economic losses since the September 11th. Okay, now normally I don't go for the government giving a whole lot of money, but I think the government's responsible for this. They did not protect this country at that particular time. They letting everybody come in America. Hey, listen, if you got a guy that comes to a plane factory and says, I just want to fly the plane, not land it, that ought to give you some hint that something's going on. I'm just saying. So, hey, I want to drive the car, but I don't need no brakes. Okay, then. I got one right here for you. So, anyway, we'll be back in a little bit.
WSFA 12 News Update on News Radio.
Well, good morning, young man. How are you this morning? Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, let me ask you a question. If somebody came to your airport and said, I want to fly a plane, but I don't care about landing it. Would you be suspicious?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what happened during the 911.
They never told them, I don't want to land. They didn't say, I just want to learn how to take off. I don't want to learn about landing. They didn't go to them and say, hey, can you teach me how to take off? I don't care about landing.
That's the story I got.
Well, that may be the story you got, but I can't believe that would be a true story.
That is his perception.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's reality.
No.
So
I'm identifying.
Therefore,
his perception is always just a little bit left.
Hey, I'm identifying with that story.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you trying to do?
Well, nothing. I don't want to get in the airplane. Don't want to land it. I want that. Unless I got a parachute, then I'm good.
So if they said they wanted parachutes along with their training, that would have been okay.
That would have been okay.
Now that would be suspicious too.
Yeah.
Is the CBS World News Roundup, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Monica Ricks in New York. A new warning for Russia this morning as President Putin mobilizes troops and makes new threats against the West. CBS's Deborah Pata is in Kharkiv, Ukraine, with the latest.
Only reservists will be drafted, he announced today. The priority, those with military expertise and experience. But it is Putin who has come out guns blazing, warning the West he still has weapons of mass destruction, read that as nuclear, and he's prepared to use them.
The threats come as Ukrainian troops gain back ground from Russia after 7 months of fighting. Putin's announcement also comes ahead of President Biden's speech today at the UN, where he's expected to slam the Kremlin over alleged war crimes. But National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says this is not a new message.
And the United States has said from the beginning of this conflict that we are going to work with the international community through every mechanism that is available to hold Russia accountable for this.
Another interest rate hike could be coming later today from the Federal Reserve. Moody's economist Mark Zandi says the Fed's trying to ward off a recession.
If we get a little bit of luck, we don't get hit with another shock, and we get some reasonably good policy making by the Fed, we should be able to make it through. But those are a lot of ifs.
Hurricane Fiona picked up speed overnight. She's now a Category 4 hurricane, packing 130-mile-an-hour winds. WCBS meteorologist Craig Allen is tracking the storm and says the U.S. could start feeling its effects soon.
Swells and rough surf from Fiona are still being generated across the coast of Hispaniola, the Turks, and the Caicos Islands, as well as the central and southeast sections of the Bahamas. They will continue to spread westward over the Atlantic, over towards portions of the United States over the next 24
Always
hours
amazes
or
me
so.
every time a hurricane comes, or
Gap is
the-
getting rid of
the
500
people-
corporate jobs,
the
or about
people
5%
get up-
of its workforce in
they
San
get
Francisco and New York.
terrified
The
by
company's making
hurricanes
cuts
and
over
tsunamis.
years of sluggish
That's the
sales,
ocean.
mostly due
It
to
always
pandemic
does that.
and surging supply
Doesn't
chain
always
costs.
come up from
Last
time to
week,
time,
Gap
but you don't know
ended its
when.
partnership
But
with
but you're in the
Boeing
middle of the
said
ocean,
it's
so
using
it's gonna happen.
You don't
Don't
have to
build
be
a
in the-
house.
You don't have to be in the middle of the ocean. It's gone as far as here.
Aaron Judge is one homer closer to
That's
history.
gonna take a, well, we do have
We have had them coming.
we can have the effects of it coming,
That's what I'm
but
saying.
yeah. But you can't, it happens, the earth goes through its changes every year. Every year it goes through change.
Sometimes it's worse than others.
Sure, but it's,
But lately they're worse than they have been.
if you, listen, if you look back on some of the old news things like that, it was a lot worse back in the old,
No,
back in the.
every now and then. In other words, you can go back like 50, 75 years and it'll be ones that they'll compare a bad one
Okay,
to now.
which means that
Which
it's happened
means-
before.
Which means it only happens about every 50 to 75
Whatever.
years. It's just like living in a floodplain. It's, my part of my area is in a 50-year floodplain. It was 100 years, but now it's 50.
But it means it has happened before and it'll probably happen again.
It's a probability of it,
So I mean,
but you don't know when it's going to happen, and you don't know how severe. But like I said, they are more severe
But
than they were, and that is
that's a political speech.
No, it's not, Kevin. They are worse now than they used to be.
Information down to lower pages of your search results where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward.
But there was a time when they didn't take
It's too
records
valuable to leave
and they didn't know they was coming, and therefore all that stuff
We're
happened. There
talking
was no
about
record.
recorded history. That's the only thing that counts is recorded.
Oh, so somebody recorded
So
that makes it more
over
valuable.
the last, yeah, it's just like the temperature. You know, it's only the recorded temperature matters.
In Death Valley, it's been getting hot as hell in Death Valley
Yeah.
ever since we've known about it.
You know, I don't get into the thing of making everything political. I try to leave it. What you always say is logic and reason.
But scientifically, they
Scientifically, that
they
you can
have
put that-
proven that, like in 1970, my God, the Earth is going to freeze. In the 70s, it was the Earth was going to freeze by the year 2000.
No, they never said that.
Yes, they did. They said, well, they
No,
said,
they didn't. I don't know where you heard that.
okay. So if I prove it to you,
And don't pull it up on Wikipedia. 'Cause
I ain't picking on
Look,
Wikipedia.
Kevin, when I was in the 70s, I was in high school.
I was in high school.
And we used, and before it became political, when we had Earth Day, there was always talk about
Earth Day.
Earth Day. We had Earth Day. when I
That's
was
your
in
problem right
elementary.
there, political.
That wasn't political.
Yeah, it was.
You know, look, I went to a Catholic school.
They
where
you don't think they're
basically-
political?
Huh?
You don't think Catholicism is
No,
somewhat
well,
political?
it is. It's very political. And most political thing in the world. That's why the world is messed up the way it is. Matter of fact, I saw a movie about it. Not particularly Catholic, about colonization. The Woman King.
Oh yeah, that's one for that's what Viola Davis
Yeah.
is in.
Yeah, and you know what? I've been telling people about the Dahomey Empire or the Dahomey Kingdom for years. I first learned about it in 1975 and to call a woman a Dahomey queen is the most respectful title you can give her. Because if you understand what a Dahomey queen, I tell you what, Black Panther is based on Dahomey Kingdom. Black Panther is actually a version of a Dahomey warrior. That was a good one. It gives you a lot of history in there. It's pretty accurate on what they did and how they did it. Because I guess until that movie came out, most people have never heard of them. Do you know why?
Because this is not that part of the world.
No. Because they were the last resistance to colonialism. And the French didn't want to recreate the same thing that happened in Haiti. So they thought they had killed all of them. but their mantra, what now, they are the last group of warriors that were like, now if people know about the Shaolin monks, the 300 Spartans, what was that, the other group over what's the guys with the swords in Japan, what were they called?
Shaolin?
No, that was Shaolin, that was Chinese. Then the Japanese had the guys who had the kana sword. What was that sword that they're so expensive now? They cost hundreds of thousands of dollars because they're handmade, and all of them are one of a kind. What do they call those guys? They were warriors. They were they even make movies about them. As a matter of fact, they had a white guy being in part of the last samurai. Yeah, samurai war. Yeah, they were similar to that. As a matter of fact, they were more terrifying. Nice bit of history, though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I guess.
Hmm.
I guess.
You guess?
I wasn't there then. So.
Well, it's good to know. You know what? Here's what it relates to. Presently, the Nigerians are trying to recreate the Goji.
Mm.
You ever hear when they kidnap the little girls in Nigeria? That's Boko Haram.
Boko Haram, yeah.
Boko Haram are a version of what the
terrorists is what they are.
Well, it's how you look at them.
Stealing people, killing their parents, and stealing the girls.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
terrorist.
That's going back to the homie. That's what the homie used to do.
Mm.
And but they're going about it wrong. They're trying to recreate the Goji
by killing people.
Yeah, that's what the homie used to do. They captured the people. When they would take the women, they would give them a choice. You can join the Goji.
Yeah. So they
or you leave.
So they're no better than anybody else.
No, what I'm saying is that's how the Agoji came about.
Okay.
They volunteered to be warriors. But they're just kidding.
So it just seems like to me that everybody, every group of people is just as evil as the other group. We have aspects, all of us got the same aspects as human beings.
But we all have the same aspect of good too.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome. All right, I'm not going to go back into the chicken things. When you want to cook your chicken in NyQuil, that's up to you guys. But again, I think if I go home, my son cooking chicken in NyQuil, I'm going to get a DNA test. Okay, because I will not believe that's my child cooking chicken in NyQuil. And what you need to do is go to your school and remove your child from that school, whatever school he's in, because obviously they're not teaching him anything about discipline and logic and reason. So therefore, yeah, just if you're going to be that dumb, let them stay home with you. If you're going to be that stupid, just let them stay home with you. Why send them to school? Is that why we send our kids to school, so they can be smarter than we are? I mean, you would think that's why you send them to school anyway. Before we get to my guest, let me tell you, our show is brought to you this hour by JL Lane Truck and Auto, jllanetruckandauto.com. Go there and check out. Now, what do they do that the rest of folks don't do? Well, one of the things they do is that they let you buy there and they let you pay there. So you don't have to worry about kissing the ring of the credit bureau. Everybody has something happen to them in their life. It's called life. So if your credit's not 900 like mine, don't worry about it. Okay? Don't worry about it. They will help you. Okay? Online inventory. Go to jllanetruckandauto.com, check out the cars, and then give them a call, 272-4313. All of the cars have been cleaned and cleared of all known issues and have passed a rigorous and vigorous inspection process. So if you're ready to ride, go to 208 Gun Road or go to jllanetruckandauto.com, look at the inventory, and call up Steve and say, listen, I'm on my way. Hold that one for me. 272-4313, 272-4313. And again, you get to pay there, you can buy there, you can pay there, and so you don't have to kiss the ring of the credit bureau, okay? Okay, you just got to talk to Mr. Lane, have a conversation with him, and then, you guys reach an agreement. You be a man of his word. He's a man of his word. You be a man of your word. And my friends, you'll be riding. You don't have to take the Uber. You don't have to get on the bus with the old girl and try to take her to the movies and she leave with somebody else in the car. I'm just saying, it's time for you to get your own ride. Okay, that's like staying at home till you're 40. What you want to do that for? Get your own place. Get your own car. All right. Anyway, that number again is 272-4313, and that's for Steve. If they don't have it, I think he can probably get it. It's a Wednesday. It's a second one, yeah, third one. Where
First and third.
Is it third already?
First and third.
Man.
Yes, this is the first. This is the third.
So we only got one more week of September.
Get a calendar.
Anyway, that voice is Donald, my alter ego. He's there. So, man, what's on your mind? They passed the budget last night.
Okay.
Which is okay, I guess. I'm just trying to figure where the extra money coming from. That's what I'm wondering. If they had a surplus in last year's budget, then why do we need? Now I heard in the paper the month where we want to hire more people. Well, my understanding is that they can't hire. They can't find the people to hire. So who they gonna hire? But if you take the budget up, that means that money has to come from some place. So what I'm trying to figure out, what's going up? We don't print money, at least not legally. So where's the money coming from? I think it went up.
Didn't they refinance a bond?
I mean, I didn't hear that last night at the meeting, but I'm just wondering where
I
the
think
money.
that's one of the things that will add revenue to the budget or to the coffers is when you restructure loans, which we're just paying it differently. That's all.
Yeah.
For now,
right? Because you still owe the money.
But hopefully there will be more income because I see a lot of tourist attractions and so forth are coming to the city. So within the next year, there should be an increase in a lot of that revenue coming in from hotels and restaurants, etc. So that's increasing tax base. Not necessarily the population that lives here, but the population that comes in.
So if the added revenue does not come to fruition, then that means that somewhere along the line, something's going to have to go up.
That's it.
Well, it's all if. I mean, it's our projection.
Right.
So it's all if. But I couldn't understand why didn't we just keep the same budget we had? If we had a surplus. So if we had a surplus, it makes more sense to me to give the people back some of their money and let's
You're
not
not giving the people back their money.
Well, I know you're not. But you can give. But somebody suggested we lower our sales tax.
No, it's not going to happen.
No.
It will increase before it decreases.
Well, if it goes higher than 10% than it is right now, total.
Well, that's a total of all of
in its totality, then somebody's gonna be moving.
No one's gonna be moving. Not for that. Because that's just sales tax.
Yeah, but that's sales tax. That's just sales tax, but that's tax on everything that you buy.
Right.
You don't just buy one thing and then you got to pay 10% on that. It goes on everything you buy.
Don't pay it. There are some people who get, let's say, if you get food stamps, you don't pay sales tax on food.
Well, if you got food stamps, that's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's true.
So those who would be hurt the most don't have to pay.
But somebody paying it.
Yeah.
Somebody's paying the sales tax on the food.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a matter of fact, last week we were talking about hunger. EGI is trying to. They got this thing where they want to help the hungry.
I called in about that. And
Yeah.
I think you were a little off base because it is a particular program that they're
I got
working
you.
to help those people who are helping people with hunger. That's what it is.
Okay, and that's
They're
good.
helping the people who help. And if you don't know, and I heard you ask people, if you ask most people around here, they'll say, no, I don't know anyone who's hungry.
I mean, I bet everybody.
But there are a lot of people out there who are hungry. But what you focus on is the people who misuse things, such as food stamps. But then there are a lot of people who are needy who don't get enough.
I agree with that.
And that number is
especially
larger,
older people.
Especially older. Yes,
Right,
they're a lot.
right.
As a matter of fact, during the pandemic, as a senior, I used to go to Walmart early in the morning. They would have a special day that only seniors could come in. And I was in there one day, and there was an old lady in there, and I watched her going around because we got basically the same thing, just your basic, meat and vegetables and so forth. And then when she got to the counter and she put her card in, she didn't have any money on it, and she didn't know that. And she just had, it was just your basics, some bread and some meat, not expensive meat and stuff like that. And that was the case, because I was there, I just told her, don't worry about it, I got it, So what I'm saying is, it happens. That's not to try and make it seem like I'm an angel or something, but It wasn't that much, first of all, but this was an older woman who had an EBT.
And that's what those programs are really for.
But they don't always have enough on there.
And
then there are people who are trying to help, people such as the woman that I just told you.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. So therefore, don't paint everyone with a broad brush and say EGI is just trying to get more money.
No,
they're not trying.
No,
they have taken a portion of their budget of money they already have to help people who were in need. That was my conversation. It wasn't to argue about how many people get food stamps and they're misusing food stamps, but there are people out there.
Right. And those people need to be helped.
And they need to be helped.
860-1440
so that's what I wanted
is our number here. Let's see who this is. Good morning, who's this? I don't know.
You can't take a bus to Martha's Vineyard. Sir, you can't take a bus to Martha's Vineyard. The only way to get there is through a plane or a boat. I just told you, the only way to get to Martha's Vineyard is a plane or a boat. It is an island. No, sir. No, sir. What is the purpose of this conversation? Is it to bring about an argument? I'm not going to argue with you. What is the debate then? What is the debate? Sir, what is the debate? Sir? What subject are you talking about? I mean, you're all over the place. What do you have is there a question for me in there that I can answer yes or no? Sir, is that okay? Well, okay, that's your opinion. Fine. But what is your question? So what is you don't know whether I voted for him or not. But what is your question to me? How do you know you're a mind reader? But how do you know what I did unless I tell you? That means you're a mind reader. Oh, you're telling me what I do. You read my mind and you know exactly what I do. Okay. Okay. Oh, now I'm a liberal. What is a liberal, sir? Well, if you're going to call me a name, tell me what it is. What is a liberal? Sir, you're all over the place. I asked you a question. What is a liberal? Now you've gone to Germany. And what does that have to do with what a liberal is? Sir, this is not a conversation. This is just word salad. This is just some word salad where you're just rambling. You know what it's called, what you're doing? It's called rambling. You have said nothing reasonable in this conversation.
We'll admit, caller, you gotta, what is the actual point you're trying to make with Don?
Thank you. We're gonna agree to that. We're gonna agree to that.
See you later. Good morning.
We totally agree on that.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Just great. How about yourself? That's right.
All right, dear Mr. Ed. I think let's do some of that. Good morning. Good morning, First Sergeant.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna like. Listen. I see a bunch of cowards running from their home. Is what I see. You come here. I, I just don't have a problem with it. They don't have a right to invade our country and invading states, and with our government, the seat of our government, the highest point of our government, uh, 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 encouraging them to do it. I don't blame these governors. They're tired of getting an invasion.
So you don't think people in Afghanistan and those countries should seek asylum?
I think you should fight. Black folks didn't seek asylum no place else, did they? We had to fight.
You're way off the beat.
Yeah. I think the point was made that we tired of people coming to our nation illegally.
No.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
They weren't there illegal. They were asylum seekers. They were waiting
they all
to be processed.
They all say they're asylum seekers.
All of those individuals were waiting to be processed. And he took them away from a place where they could be processed to a place where they could not.
How did they get here?
Because look, he took them to an island, Kevin.
Okay, but how did they get
where
here?
There are none of the amenities to take care of them.
How did they get here initially?
They crossed the border
and
asked for asylum. And the country granted them a process.
We got.
They were in the process of asylum.
We're the only country in the world that leaves our nation open for every swing and chain that comes through here.
Kevin, they are asylum seekers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Listen, if they had evidently they had an agreement. So you don't believe that he just comes. Wait a minute, you don't believe that one government.
It's a political
right just came to another government.
The state of Florida has $12 million for relocation of illegal aliens. That's not what they were. Yeah, they were asylum seekers.
They all say that.
Who were there.
They all say that.
Looking for asylum.
I'm looking for asylum.
And they lured them away from the process to take them somewhere else.
I'm not buying it. Everybody, fight for your own country. Fight. Stop being a coward. Run into the United States.
There is nothing factual in what you're saying.
Yeah. Wait a minute. We've always been used as political pawns. Every time the Democrats come up with an election, the first thing they want to do is send something about Jim Crow. They use us all the time.
You're off base.
No, I'm not. The people have always been political pawns in the political process.
Lower it down.
There have been, though. Let's not act like it don't happen.
Okay.
It happens all the time.
Okay.
Except this case.
So it's happening.
It happens all the time. Okay.
And you agree with that ploy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
So that's the answer to the question.
Yeah.
Kevin agrees with that ploy?
I do.
Okay.
Again, we get tired of sending our young men and women to other people's countries to help them and lose their lives to help them get a better way of life. And then by the time we get home, they're here before us because they don't want to fight. I can't stand cowardice. Fight for what you want.
Well,
don't come here and try to change us.
Well, political persecution in other countries we can't control.
We can't even control ours.
That's true.
Okay, and we certainly don't need to be invaded by people from other. Invaded. Yes, we are. Okay. Yes, we are. Millions of people have come to the United States undocumented, unwarranted, and that's an invasion. Any other
Let
country,
me
that's
ask
an
you this.
invasion.
When they had all those immigrants coming through New York, especially when they had that large group of Irishmen come in because of the potato blight, was that an invasion of the United States?
They came through the process. They
Right.
came
And
through a
that's what those
legal
people were
process.
doing. That's what they were doing.
No,
They were seeking asylum.
They all say that
No,
when they get
don't
here.
all
They
say
get
that.
they get to the
They
gate.
can't all say that.
They do.
They can't all.
A lot of them say it.
The countries that those people were from
What-
were here
okay.
for political asylum.
Let me ask you something.
And there's a process to go through. And they took them away from where the judges and the political process was to a place where there is no jurisdiction where they have a judge to do
even our judicial
They're on
system has
these are
become
border
political.
states. It just so happens that these border states happen to have
They're tired of
Republican
it.
governors now.
They're tired of
And
it.
they're making a political issue because
It
it
is
has been
political.
it has not been a political issue until a particular party made it one.
That's a lie. That's a lie. I mean, that is an out lie.
Asylum seekers are
People-
not the same as illegal aliens.
Ask the American people down there in Texas and places like
Kevin.
that, where people come
Kevin.
through their farms and stuff
Well,
and ravage their cows, ravage their
We're
Yes, they
talking
do.
about asylum seekers. Two different group of people now.
Fight. Stop
Illegal
looking for
aliens.
asylum.
Illegal aliens.
Yeah.
They are invading the country.
Fight
That's one group.
for your rights
But
where
when
you
you
live.
use a group of people who are asylum seekers and to people who like you who bunch them all together, then it looks like you're protecting the country, but you're not.
Yeah.
It's making a statement by saying what is actually a lie.
I agree with him.
Those people were not illegal aliens.
Okay. How do
They
you know?
were asylum.
How do you know that?
Because of the countries that they came from.
Wait a
Kevin.
minute.
They were
How do you
there
know
to
they're
be.
not just
They were documented in a process.
unless
to be
and
processed.
they can lie on that process.
Well, that would be determined first. It
Right.
wasn't determined.
Right. And so and a lot of them they get
If
here.
they were lying, it
Yeah.
would if they were determined that they could not be processed and receive
Well,
asylum, they would be
well,
returned to their country.
again, my thing is
But they never had that chance.
my thing is fight.
It's not a
Fight where you live.
It's not a fight.
Black folks had to fight
which-
their butts
and
off in this
black
country.
folks didn't get anything.
We got
What
something
did they
now.
get? What did we get?
I'm free.
What did we get? What did the slaves get when they
got
what-
nothing. They got freedom.
nothing.
They got freedom.
They got absolutely
They
nothing.
got freedom. And those who got something.
And what came with that to freedom to do what? And along with that freedom came Jim Crow laws.
Okay, well then
And
we
didn't
fought,
get-
and we fought
and
those.
all of the states didn't
And we
get the right,
fought
and
those.
all of the states didn't get that until after
I got you.
the civil rights
We're
movement.
not a perfect country.
We had to have the
Yeah.
civil rights movement, and we had to have the voting rights.
And we
Act.
probably gonna have some more movements at some point in time.
Yeah.
Okay. But you gotta fight for what you want.
Well,
Without going to somebody else's country,
That was
invading
legislation.
their country.
That was legislation.
We are being invaded.
Well,
I don't care what anybody
well,
says. We're being
well,
invaded.
well, the Europeans invaded this country.
And they won.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. Yes.
Good morning.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, keep going. Mhm. That's right. It used to be you couldn't, right, and it used to be you couldn't come here unless you could show that you had a skill or you had something that would contribute to the upkeep of America.
Let me ask both of you: do you ever go to construction sites in Montgomery? You ever go to a construction site in Montgomery? Look around and see the people. What nationality are the majority of those originally of the people that you see around these construction sites in Montgomery right now? There are state buildings that are being worked on right now. Look at the majority of the workers on those buildings. Who are they?
Well, that's not my
Who
fault.
are they?
Right.
Right. So they're not looking for welfare. So know what those people did? Those people came from their country to the United States to get a job. If you go to any construction site, major construction site in Montgomery right now, the majority of the people you will see working on those sites,
the question is why,
are from another country.
The question is why.
And they're working. And they're working.
Why?
So that dispels what you just said.
Why?
They come here to get a job, to take care of their
Why
family.
are the majority of workers working in construction sites Hispanic? Why?
Because they come to this country looking for a job.
So there are no black folks.
I didn't say
looking
you
for a
brought
job.
in black. I'm just saying,
okay. Why
this
are they
dispels what you just said. The attraction to those people on those jobs is the job.
Again, though,
they didn't come here for welfare.
Right.
They came here to get a job.
But the programs, when you can walk across the bridge and get money.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Okay.
The majority of the people you see here who are immigrants are working.
And the question is why?
They're working.
The question is why?
I
gotta eat.
You guys came up and said that they're here for welfare. I said that the majority of them here are here to work.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it. I gotta take a break.
So I have proof of mine. Hey, you go to any construction site in Montgomery, who will you see?
The question
That's not my. No.
But
this
why?
guy just said these people come here to get on welfare.
But
the
why?
majority of immigrants in Montgomery are not on welfare.
First of all, nobody's.
The majority of immigrants here are not here.
Wait. You keep thinking this is about them, but it's about our government not protecting our borders.
No,
Yeah, that's what it's about.
No, it's not. No. Look, here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those people that you see who are immigrants came to this country. Just like every other country they came here because there are opportunities.
But our government has a responsibility to protect our borders.
Man, forget that. You know what?
I'm sorry. No, this is our country.
Let me ask you this. In the Canadian border, I know people that live up in Detroit. You can walk across just like that.
And you go back home.
Okay. That thing, you go back home. Why don't we have that in the South?
Well, I'm with you. I don't know.
It's political because they made it a political issue.
Politics.
Do you know what? There are 3 factories that were in Montgomery that moved to Mexico.
I know the woman out there that's Collier and factory.
She moved to Mexico. Why? For cheap labor.
And some of our car folks have moved, but
they
some are moving back now.
But they moved for the cheap labor.
Sure.
But now, if you want skilled workers and more educated workers, where do they move? Alabama. Look at how many manufacturing plants we have in Alabama. Okay, so it's not. And look, and who owns those?
It's about the
government. Who owns those?
I do not blame people for coming to
the
America.
Koreans own them. The Germans own those factories.
I got a problem.
The major companies in Alabama.
But the government still has a responsibility to protect our borders.
That's a bull crap.
Well,
that just sounds. You know what? Somebody. Right. I tell you what. Right now, we could do away with the border.
Yeah.
You could do away with the wall, and people who are going to go to work are going to go to work. They're just like they do in Canada.
I don't blame the people. People want a better way of life. I got that.
What's the difference between Canada and Mexico?
I don't know. Different countries.
You know what the difference? What's the difference between legal marijuana and illegal marijuana?
Somebody said. Marijuana.
What's the difference between a state where it's legal and a state where it's not legal? Yeah.
Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FREE for a 25% 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FREE for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill.
This is a paid advertisement. Pulaski Kerber with principal offices in Houston, Texas is responsible for the content of this advertisement. Brandon Penjod is attorney licensed in North Carolina. Attention, all military members or military families or contractors that spent time at the Marine Base Camp Lejeune. If you or a family member lived, worked, or served at Camp Lejeune at any time from 1953 to 1987, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Call 800-927-2971 now to see if you qualify. That's right. Marines, their families, employees, contractors, and anyone who lived, worked, or served at Camp Lejeune may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Studies have found the water at Camp Lejeune was contaminated with toxic chemicals for decades, causing serious health conditions such as cancer, Parkinson's, leukemia, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Congress has approved and President Biden has signed a new law allowing anyone that spent time at the base to seek the justice they deserve. Billions have been set aside for victims of toxic water claims. If you or a loved one was at Camp Lejeune at any time through 1987 and developed a serious health condition, you or your family may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Hurry, time is limited. Call 800-927-2971. That's 800-927-2971. 800-927-2971.
Another Guardian Credit Union story.
Hey, so what are we doing with your hair today? I need a trim, a new dishwasher, and a much needed.
But you know, I don't blame people for wanting to come here. Because if I was over there, I'd come here too.
Right.
But our government has a responsibility
You know
to
what?
protect our
I can
borders.
tell you something, Kevin. I remember when every summer there would be groups of migrants that would come to Florida and pick the oranges and all that stuff there. Every year. It wasn't a big deal. We knew that. And there were poor people. There would be truckloads of people who would leave Montgomery. Very poor people. And they would go down there and pick the oranges and whatever. And there were a bunch of people from Mexico who would come in and pick the oranges.
But you think
But
it's
it
about
wasn't
them.
made. It's been made a political issue by a particular party. But before that,
And what party is that?
that's a Republican
You
party.
cannot let people invade your country.
They're not
and
invading.
will. They are invading.
If you make it an issue, it's just like the issue of to get back to the point, the issue of asylum seekers. There has been an
They all say
increase.
they got
Hold on.
asylum.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
There has been an increase of asylum seekers, and there has been a decrease in illegal aliens coming into the country. That's people from Mexico, man. The Mexicans is few. You know why? Because now some of those jobs that they would have gotten here are in Mexico, because American companies are moving jobs down there for Mexico.
Okay, we're back. Good morning, everybody. 860-1440 is our number here. You want to give us a call? Me and Donald have a misunderstanding. It's not about the people. It's about, to me, it's about our government not protecting the borders of the United States. And if you don't protect your borders, you don't have a country. So that's my issue. I don't blame people for coming over here, because I'd come too. That's why we have a government that's supposed to protect those borders.
And there's a process. And
Right.
those
And they
people-
manipulated the process
and
for
now,
years.
because it's been made a political issue, those people who we're talking about at Martha's Vineyard are a group of people who were not in the country illegally. They were here as part of a process of seeking asylum. They picked those individuals were picked up from Texas, carried to another state, and then flown to Martha's Vineyard. Now they're bringing attention. Those people in Martha's Vineyard who were totally unexpected.
Like the people here are totally
here's the difference.
unexpected.
Martha's Vineyard is an island that is a resort island. It is basically empty of the people who own most of the houses there now. The permanent population there is very much smaller, and those people were totally unprepared for that.
Right.
And they didn't have the way they are supposed to be being processed. There was not a place for them to be processed. There was not a judge in place. There was nothing available on that island for them to do that. That's why they had to remove them as quickly as possible to a place where they could be processed.
Okay. Good morning. Who's
Now,
this?
that's what you're missing.
Good morning. Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Now, who doesn't wait, who doesn't believe in equal rights, and who believes they have a God-given right to black folk? I know, but can you give me give me a couple of names of some that you know that are white supremacists? Yeah. Okay. 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 And again, and again, tell me who they are. Using that word, it shocks the conscience sometimes, but yeah, 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 right? Who, what makes you a white, let me ask you, what makes you a white supremacist? Okay. It's so easy to put that red meat out there, without any substance to it. Well, let me ask you a question, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you know what? When Ronald Reagan made the White wait a minute, when Ronald Reagan made the White House, they came up with cartoons. He was going to send us in a nuclear war. They put a cartoon picture of him riding a nuclear bomb headed to Russia. Okay, we always use these platitudes and this idiocy thing to bring out the red meat. And okay, I'm just saying, yeah, okay, okay, I, okay. All right, I am. I ain't mad at you. One more. Good morning, you on air. Morning.
Good morning.
Should they be able to? Mm, mm. How many people we got? How many people we got in prison? How many people we got in prison in America? You know? We could use some of those. We got over 1 million people in prison, in jails. We could use some of those people to do that. We don't need to open up the floodgates and let everybody come in this country.
That's another problem, Kevin.
Yeah, probably true, but put a chain on them. Yeah. Well, you can't use the military to do it. Put the cane on them, brother. Put the cane on them. You let them out early. You let them out early. You don't. I mean, they pay for their. That's their pittance. Is doing that. Yeah. Yeah. Right. But yeah, okay. I think you and Donna both missed one. I don't blame people for coming to the United States for a better way of life. Our government has a responsibility to protect our borders. Right. And the government is throwing a monkey wrench by letting everybody. Okay, and that same government is causing a problem.
Those were not.
I don't believe so. Yeah. Well, let me ask something. If somebody comes here illegally, aren't they here illegally?
No, those people were in the process.
How do you know that?
That's where
you're going by the news.
They went around and found them. They recruited them. That was a group of people seeking asylum. Mm-hmm. They went and recruited them and gave them the brochure saying, you can go to this, you're going to Boston, you're going to have a job, you're going to have this, and you're going to have that, which was all a lie because they cannot have that because they have not gone through the process.
Well, again,
they could not. That was a lie in itself. That brochure they're trying to find out who gave them that brochure because that was a lie.
All I know is that our government is not protecting our borders.
No, that whole thing was a lie. He's a part of an illegal process.
They're not protecting this country. So, I mean, I don't care what anybody says. And when somebody puts a dirty bomb in America because we left our gates open, then we'll say
hurting anyone. Okay. They were in the process.
Yeah. And what domestic who you calling domestic terrorists?
People who tore up the Capitol were domestic terrorists.
No, those are people.
I said the people who tore up the Capitol.
No.
Those people who destroyed the Capitol.
They had a right to redress their grievances.
Anyone who destroyed the government property was a terrorist.
Okay. Oh, so what happened in Seattle and Oregon? Wait a minute, they tore up government buildings and they weren't domestic
rioters.
Those are rioters.
Right.
So they weren't
but
domestic
they were
terrorists.
On government property.
And so the people in Oregon and Seattle. They were on government property.
The capital of the United States was attacked.
Okay. I don't. There's a difference between being disagreeable than being a terrorist.
When you're part of a mob, Kevin, I don't care what the reason is, you're a terrorist.
So were black folks terrorists?
No.
When we tried to get freedom?
No. When did we do that?
Okay.
When did we attack? Did they ever attack the Capitol of Montgomery?
I don't care nothing about the Capitol. It's people have a right to redress their grievances with their government.
So you're saying, Kevin, they have a right to attack the Capitol?
I think I believe.
Yes or no?
I believe they have a right.
They had the right to destroy the Capitol.
They have a right to redress their grievances.
They had the right
and
to
they
destroy
did
the Capitol.
destroy it.
Yes or no?
They did not destroy the Capitol.
They caused millions of dollars worth of damage.
And so what the government when they went back in Philadelphia when I was overseas, I know the government, that same government, went over there and put a bomb in Philadelphia, a bomb on our folks. Okay, so who's right?
When did this happen?
Yeah, and they didn't know that, did you?
When did this happen?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
In Philadelphia.
Yeah, they did.
Who did that?
They put our government did. I think
what government?
The FBI, somebody. They did it. When I come back, I'll tell you. They put they threw a bomb on U.S. citizens.
When?
Mm-hmm. You don't know everything, do you? We'll be back. I'll be back. I gotta go.
When did the FBI put a bomb in Philadelphia? Where?
Surprised the hell out of me when I found that out.
Where?
Let me see. Where I've been in Philadelphia, and they put it on. They put it on what they called. It was either the Panthers or somebody. they put a bomb, an air bomb. They dropped it on their headquarters. Our government did that. So,
you're getting into a different thing.
No. It's still.
Was this you're saying the FBI had, was it a covert or an overt operation?
It was an overt. Okay, it was overt operation. Okay.
Well, who were?
Let me find. Let me find a.
You throwing a monkey wrench in there.
I know I did.
Doesn't even sound.
Because okay. Well, look it up on your thing. You look everything else up. Bomb dropped in Philadelphia on. I think it was either the Panthers or some organization that they did it on.
But that, well, I don't know.
And they didn't cause millions of dollars worth of damage.
Yes, they did.
No,
yes, they
that
did.
just sounds. That's irritating.
No, they caused millions of dollars worth of damage. That's an expensive building.
Who cares? We built it. We paid for it.
Well, let me ask you this. What if there was a group of black people that did that same thing?
I wouldn't have did it.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying, what if it was a group of black people that did that?
I've been in the rear with the gear.
I'm just saying, I mean, you can't justify that action, Kevin. Destroying the Capitol
they got
because
screwed.
You disagree.
We got screwed in 2020.
Kevin,
What happened in that election?
Has there been any, like Bill Barr said, that's a bunch of crap.
Bill Barr is anti-Trump. I don't know why in the hell he put him there anyway.
You know what?
And I don't want Trump to run again.
How was? Well, let me ask you this: How has Sepaloni, Bill Barr, all these people
because
work with
Trump was not part of the established political class in Washington D.C. He never even held a job in dog catcher.
All these people work for him, Kevin. How is it?
They didn't work for him. They were entrenched. They didn't work for him. They never worked for Trump. They never.
Well, let me ask you this:
They wanted power.
What was? You know what? He has really thrown this country into a tizzy. Where
no. How did he get there? He got there because we've been getting screwed forever.
Anyone who disagrees with him is now a rhino. Anyone who disagrees with him is a rhino. Do you agree with that?
Well, listen, I don't agree with everything Trump does.
But I'm just saying, anyone who disagrees with him is a rhino. Liz Cheney is a rhino. Liz Cheney is a conservative Republican.
I believe
her only fault is she disagreed and told the truth as she saw it against Donald Trump. That's the only thing she's done in her life that Republicans now that are Trumpers say is wrong.
And I think
everyone else is afraid. She is proof positive.
And I think she has a right to her opinion.
The Republican Party has been taken over by a cult, where you can take a staunch Republican all of her life, and her only thing she did wrong was disagree with Donald Trump. That is a fact.
Well, she shouldn't have disagreed.
I'm just saying, Kevin, think about that.
Yeah.
Anyone who disagrees with Donald Trump is a rhino. Donald Trump is a narcissistic dictator. You cannot disagree with him. No one can disagree with him.
You see miracles all the time.
That's a fact.
What is it? If they want to go for that's them going. But I don't agree with that. I think everybody can be disagreed with. You know, and his job.
He cannot be disagreed with.
His job as a leader is to convince people who don't agree with him to agree.
He does not do that,
and because he's never been a politician,
and
he don't know that.
But see,
Donald Trump's not a leader.
That's not the person you. Right. He is not a leader.
Donald Trump was not necessarily a leader. He was a boss.
He's never been a leader.
Right, never been a leader.
And he is incapable.
So
of
let me ask
leading
something.
Because he doesn't know what leadership
So let me ask
is.
something. How in the world did we get into a tizzy in America that we one of them people were willing to put a guy in office who had never held any political office in America? What made us what made us vote for him?
You know what it was? He was the anti-Obama.
Obama wasn't running against him.
I'm just saying he was the representation of all of that frustration of all of those people.
It wasn't just Obama. It was a whole,
it's the Obama.
it was a whole mechanism that was available. We were tired of the same old crap, like in Montgomery, in Alabama.
And
then
4 years later,
promises and
4
promises.
years later, 80 million
Anyway,
people got tired of that.
It was May 13th, 1985, after a long standoff, Philadelphia municipal authorities dropped a bomb on a residential row house. Okay? Government dropped a bomb on people. And I think they did it one other time in 1970 something. So it has happened, brother.
So what has happened?
Our government, you gonna drop a bomb on American citizens?
Right. That was an extreme measure. You know what?
And what we did in Washington was an extreme measure.
Hey, that was right. I'm not justifying. I'm just saying that was an action.
Hey, good morning. Who's it? Let me get
using
weapons. We go back to
against criminals.
Good morning. Oh, not the criminals.
Well,
We think the politicians
they were
are
supposed to
criminals.
be criminals.
Good morning. Who's this? Okay, nobody's there. Good morning. Who's this? Pretty good. You got about a minute. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. I believe I believe what they did. They listen. The FBI listens to me. They upstairs. they listen to me. They know what I believe.
Oh, so you're on their list.
I might be on the list.
He might be on the list.
But
he's already on the list.
Yeah. Listen, I believe in freedom. I believe in this country and the tenets and the principles that they founded it upon. I don't believe in the people. I believe in the principles.
Do you believe in the violence?
What did Thomas Jefferson say? Hey, I gotta run, bro. What did Thomas Jefferson say?
Do you believe in the violence?
What did Thomas Jefferson say?
Do you believe? I can't ask
Thomas Jefferson said
I'm
about
talking to you.
I gotta go. We'll be back. About the tree of freedom.
You're going to Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson, he said, from time to time, the tree of freedom must be pruned by the blood of patriots. That's what he said.
So those were patriots that did that.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe they were. They got screwed. You're going to blame the president of the United States for 4 years that he's a Russian mom, a Russian. And then you kind of find out that the people who are actually playing with the Russians were Hillary Clinton. I'm just saying, they screwed that. That's got to believe it. They screwed that man for 4 years, lying on him. Just lying. Hey, Trump, my man. I won't vote for him again because I'm tired of the mess. But I like Santos too. If Santos run for president, I'm voting for him.
DeSantis. Santos.
Radio 1440 WLWIAM, the home of Sean Hannity, also on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery, Alabama, a Cumulus media station. This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Monica Ricks in New York. Russia's president says he's mobilizing. Vladimir Putin says he is gathering his troops as the Kremlin loses ground in Ukraine. CBS's Kimmy McCormick has details.
This is a mobilization of 300,000 Russian troops and an apparent sign the Russian invasion isn't going as planned. Western officials estimate the Russians have suffered tens of thousands of casualties in Ukraine. The mobilization comes a day after Russian-controlled regions in parts of Ukraine announced plans to hold votes to become part of Russia. That also could set the stage for Moscow to escalate the war.
President Biden plans to address Russia during his speech later today at the UN. CBS's Stephen Portnoy with a preview.
After he speaks to the General Assembly, the president's expected to sit with Britain's new prime minister, attend a meeting on HIV/AIDS, and host fellow world leaders for a reception. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan previews Mr. Biden's speech.
Among other things, he'll offer a firm rebuke of Russia's unjust war in Ukraine and make a call to the world to continue to stand against the naked aggression that we've seen these past several months.
The president will also urge Iran to return to talks on a new nuclear deal, but Sullivan says he doesn't expect any breakthroughs in New York.
Fiona is now a Category 4 hurricane as it continues blowing through the Caribbean. At least 4 people have died, and Puerto Rico is struggling to recover. Yolanda Rivera was on the island during the storm.
We stayed in one room, like in a little corner that it was safe. That's where we were, like a whole night with no light and nothing.
Many people still don't have power there this morning. Later today, the Federal Reserve is expected to raise the interest rate again, and CBS's Jill Schlesinger has some advice for investors.
Anyone who does not need access to their investments for more than a year or 2 years, the best course of action is to do nothing, is to stick to your game plan.
Bad dreams could lead to a bad diagnosis. CBS's Vicki Barker explains.
The multi-year study of some 3,000 American adults found men over the age of 64 who experience nightmares on a weekly basis are 5 times more likely to develop dementia. The association was less strong in older women, only 41%.
Roger Federer says retiring is the right decision.
I've been so fortunate, to have the right coach at the right time, and I felt that I learned from each and every one a lot, and it's been a great career.
He's in London right now for the Laver Cup, which will be his final tournament. The 41-year-old says he made the decision while rehabbing his right knee. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Do you owe the IRS $8,000 or more? Are you a few years behind on your filing? Are you going through an audit and have no idea what to do? You need an ally, fast. Ally's tax relief negotiators can protect you from all IRS collections. But have you called them today? Their team of enrolled agents, tax attorneys,
I need another hour today.
Are you around? All your tax problems. Take the first step to getting the IRS off your back. Call Ally's tax relief today for a free consultation. 800-957-0325.
What did you want to talk about today anyway? What you want to talk about today?
Former President Trump just wrote on Truth Social.
You know what?
Dick Morris's new bestseller, The Return, is a great book. It urges you to get it.
I was talking about it. I think you hit on it one day, but then you turned back around.
And Amazon
this deal with homosexuality and the LGBT movement and so forth. It's very confusing. It's a problem that the problem is we don't know how to handle, and we can't even say a word because we don't want to offend. It is a mental illness.
Yeah, it don't bother me about offending them. But I will say,
but what I'm saying is, when it was a mental illness, people used to hide. But the problem is because there were so many suicides, they were trying to find a way to prevent the suicide and say, well, okay, it's all right. But then it still doesn't stop the problem because they still have the problem because they're confused. And if they're not accepted by their family members or that like parents do away with their parents because they don't.
The thing that confused me though, why would somebody, unless they were compelled internally,
it is a mental illness.
That issue.
In other words, it's a delusion that they have. They are delusional. That I believe something that is not. So therefore, that is a mental problem. And what happens is when we try to put it into the realm of morality, it makes it even more confusing. So now, if you're against them, you are, in some sense, being a bad person. But if you're for them, you are immoral. But my thing is, it is a mental ill. If we look at it, we have to handle it as a population saying, hey, this is a problem. Like the black community has always done this. We have tolerated things, but that doesn't mean we agree with it. There have been gay members of gay preachers. We've always had that. We've always had gay preachers. We've had gay, the head of the choir was 99%.
Yeah, we all knew it.
We all knew it. But we didn't say that's okay.
Right.
They knew it, we knew it, and we just, you didn't talk about it. You just tolerance is, I can live with that. That don't mean I approve of it. Right. So now it has changed when white people get into the mix and throw us into it. See, that's insulting to me. And that's what I want to say. We are being thrown into a mix of something that we have tolerated for thousands of years, and now we're being put in a position to say it's okay. That is all right. Because androgyny has always been in African culture, in Pacific culture. Androgyny, where a man who acts like a woman. As a matter of fact, that movie is a real good movie because there's an androgynous individual in the movie. He's not homosexual. He's just androgynous. Just feminine. And a lot of people don't understand that. We have had that in our community. You've had androgynous girls, a girl who could fight like a boy. But she was a woman now. She was all girl, but she could do the things a boy could do. And might even dress like one, might walk like one. But we said, well, that's okay, I can live with that. And usually those girls just grow out of that and they become a beautiful woman, marry and all that. But now we pigeonhole people into a group where it's all these letters. Look, that person has a problem. I don't know what that problem is. I can deal with it. That's their problem. But now we're having to have these different pronouns for people.
Yeah, I know. That's
See, now when we get into the language, now we're getting into a whole different
We are
thing.
taking our language and what we are doing, we are criminalizing words.
Right.
And if there's anything against a violation of the United States Constitution, that's it.
I think the LGBT community, which is a minority community, but have a lot of power, have taken things too far. And there
will be pushback at some point.
And then when the pushback is going to be worse than it was before.
There will be pushback.
Because there will be people who just say, well, hey, I'm one of those people, I said it, and you have a show, and I pull it up every now and then, and I tell people that show that we did about the Mean Girls of Morehouse. I tell you come in front of me and you look like a man, yes sir, yes, no sir. If you appear to be a woman, it's yes ma'am, no ma'am.
Yeah.
Now don't get to me and say I can't say one, you look like another one.
Okay, we're back. Let me tell you about one of our sponsors. I don't know if he's going to like sponsoring today. Listen, when you on talk radio, you never can tell what may come up. First of all, if you're looking for a used pre-loved car, let me tell you who to talk to today. That's JL Lane Truck and Auto, jllaneTruckandAuto.com. Right now, you can go on the website, see the inventory. They got all kind of cars on there right now. Matter of fact, they got real quick to tell you two of my best right here. They got a Jeep Patriot. They got a Dodge Ram 1500. They just got a bunch of cars on there. They got a Ford Focus. They got a bunch of cars. Go to the website, jllaneTruckandAuto.com. Look at, and you can fill out an application. Everything is right online. But anyway, all the cars, have been cleaned and cleared of all known issues. It has passed a rigorous and vigorous inspection process. So if you're ready to ride, go to 208 Gun Road if you happen to be in the area. That's 208 Gun Road. Or you can call 272-4313, 272-4313. And if they don't have it, ask for Steve. They can get it for you. Okay, I'm just saying. Pre-loved cars. Okay, they don't care about your credit. They don't care about your past. Only to help you with a better future. So if you need a ride, give them a call, 272-4313. Again, that is JL Lane Truck and Auto, jllaneTruckandAuto.com. Check out. You state employees. I didn't say work. I know you ain't working. So go online right now and look at the cars. jllaneTruckandAuto.com. Ain't you tired of your kid driving your car all the time? Yeah, he's gonna come home one day with it all wrecked. Get him his own car. Okay. Z get in the car next year, and we're gonna do that. We didn't. No. Matter of fact, my son got my car the other day, and we said, "Dad, I think the car's a little small." So I said, "Okay, well, I'm a little small, he's taller than I am and everything." So, anyway, 860-1440. If you want to give us a call, whatever on your mind this morning. Talk radio is not about agreement, but it is about the discussion.
Right.
And you don't have to. Now that one guy got me this morning. What's your point? Oh no. Okay then. Yeah, I know. I mean that's pretty good. So let's go here.
Yeah.
Good morning. Who's this? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Everybody, but he wasn't. Right. A lot of people don't know.
Didn't remember that particular thing.
Right.
But that's getting into another difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, I think people can fight.
Yeah.
Right. People can fight the way they. Yeah. We got enough people over here seeking asylum. And they can't control, and they won't control our border.
Yeah. Well, that
yeah. Let me voice it. No. Let me put it this way. I am part of the whole, and anything affects the whole, affects me.
Really,
it does, but you just don't realize it. Yeah, you just don't.
Well, if a tree falls in the forest and I don't hear it, it didn't make a sound.
But how you know that?
I didn't hear it.
You didn't. All you can say is you didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it.
But that don't mean it didn't make a sound.
Yeah, so you have to be there to hear it make a sound. So that's what that's like.
Listen, we've had climate change ever since the Earth began.
Yeah, that's
winter, spring, summer, and fall.
Another issue that's been made political.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall. It's climate change.
Right. That.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if I can go back and find you historical data that shows that it's been colder than it's ever. Oh, okay then. Oh, okay, okay. Well, God's in charge, so there's nothing we can do about it.
There you go. Okay.
What? Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I am. Actually, I am. I know the guy's name starts with a D. Yeah.
Jerry.
Yeah. And I like that. Yeah. I like that. But what happens if he sides with Trump? Okay. But what happens if he does, though? What happens if he does? Okay. It is my understanding, and again, I don't know this because I've never been president of the United States, but it's my understanding the president has a sole authority to declassify a document.
Well, Deary only asked him, which ones did you declassify?
Right. And I think he ought to be able to come up with that.
Well, I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
See, now we get it. See,
right.
It's getting messy.
And again,
if you declassified it, okay, show me the ones
right.
you declassified.
Okay. Anyway, appreciate it. And I agree. You got to be able to answer the question.
Now, if you can't answer, well, I can't tell you that because that would be incriminating. Well, right. Which ones did you declassify?
But listen, I don't really care who declassified it. I don't.
Man, it doesn't even matter.
He's still the president of the United States.
Well,
and you got some. There's right. You have some privilege. Good morning. Who's this?
Yeah, but that's gone. He doesn't have executive privilege now.
Yes. Right. Right. I remember that now. Yeah. Right. 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 And my only point was to show that when the citizens get ticked, and they want to take action. Oh, they're doing it when the government gets ticked. And I haven't forgotten Waco, where we use U.S. military equipment on U.S. citizens.
But the whole point, do two wrongs make a right.
We have the right because we are the citizens. We have that right.
So you have the right to do the same wrong as the government.
We're not wrong. We have a right to.
So the government had the right to do wrong.
No, we're the government.
Wrong is wrong.
We're supposed to be the government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
So wrong is wrong. Violence against the government is wrong. It's called an insurrection.
In the book of Ecclesiastes, it says there's a time and a season for all things.
That's the Old Testament.
Well, I think the season's still coming and going.
And everyone doesn't believe in the Old Testament.
Hey, man.
Every American citizen does not believe in the Old Testament.
But the principle,
so that principle does not apply to every citizen of the
There's still a time and place for all.
The Constitution applies to every citizen of the United States.
It's government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Then, that's what it says.
But it is also a constitutional republic.
You got to make my mind. What is it now?
It's a constitutional republic.
Okay.
That means we have representation.
And when we feel we are not being represented, we have a right to change it.
It's called a vote.
When they're stealing the votes, it's kind of hard to deal with them.
Prove it. Prove that they stole the votes.
I did. Again, you can't vote. There's nothing in the Constitution about voting for the president for 30 days.
We've been political long enough. Let's go.
That's right. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. You and I ain't gonna never agree.
No.
We.
No.
Come on. Who's this? Yes. Yeah. All right. I appreciate it. Now, I do agree for one thing. If you're going to give food away, please, no more beets. Okay? Okay? None of this. Stop giving people the stuff that you don't want to eat. Give me some macaroni and cheese. Give me some canned meatballs and spaghetti. Don't give me your raggedy beets that's been in the refrigerator, been in the doggone cabinet for 14 years. Okay? Help me out here.
Okay.
And they do. That's what they do. They give the junk they don't want. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Me too. Me too. Yeah. Mm. Ain't that the truth? Right. Years. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I listen, I agree. And again, that's why I don't blame people for coming here. But we do have a responsibility to check our borders and guard them and limit access to this country. And we can't seem to do that anymore. And matter of fact, in August, they said 4.9 million illegal immigrants have entered America since Biden took over. 4.9 million. Where are they going to? Yeah. Which will lead itself to more crime because people are going to eat. People are going to, they're going to want to sleep somewhere. 4.9 million in the last 2 years or so that he's been in office. 4.9 million people have crossed that border, and I just something's wrong with that. And anybody who doesn't see what's wrong with that, then they need to be lived someplace else. I just again, I don't blame the people because hell, if I was over there, I'd come here too. I don't. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. But we need to certainly do something with our borders. And so, although what the governor did the other day, some people call it lack of class, political. It's all politics, as far as I'm concerned. It's all politics. And the people going to lose are the low end people. The low income people are going to lose because those are the people whose rent's going to go up because now there's so many people who are clamoring for a place to stay. They are taking up row house rent right now. They're taking people's rent up. I know a lady whose rent was 400 was like $500 a month. It went up to $1,700 in 1 year. That's crazy because they know that people need a place to, from $500 to $1,700. And I'm not saying illegal immigration is part of it, but it is part of it. Everybody wants a place to stay, and so these landlords are knowing that they can get more money. Now, how do you go from $500 to $1,700 to keep your house? You don't.
It's location, location, location. It's not that much everywhere.
If you paying $500 a month
and it goes up to 17,
and it goes up to 17,
where is that location?
1,700.
Where is that location? That's the landlord doing that.
Well, exactly.
Evidently,
but they know they can do it.
Either you pay that or you get out.
Or you get out.
Someone else will pay it. So
exactly.
That is the location.
And when when our government is giving free money away to people like they were doing, then they figure everybody's got the money.
No, that's not.
But everybody does it.
That was temporary.
Okay.
It's not free money everywhere.
Why?
And you're mixed. I don't know where that is you're talking
because
about.
it's all collected. It's all together.
See, you're like the first caller there. You throw in a bunch of information gathered around. You just pick it out of the air, and you're saying this problem is causing that. There is a particular problem we have and have had.
We got a
in
bunch
this
of
country.
problems.
We've had, and there are a lot of problems. I agree with that. And now one of the focus has become a political issue where we're throwing into the mix all of the individuals coming in through our southern border. That's
a problem.
That is an issue that we need to address rather than exploiting it for political gain.
So how many more millions? How many more millions do we have to come in?
In other words, it does not help.
How many more millions got to come into America before we address it?
Watch this. If the state of Florida can put $12 million in relocation, well, why didn't they put $12 million into looking at how to properly handle the relocation? You get what I'm saying?
Well, again,
that political money that was part of that $12 million.
They wouldn't have
they
to
have
do
to
it.
Relocate people.
They wouldn't have to relocate people or anything if our government did its
What did
responsibility
he do?
and guard our border.
He left his state to go to another state to take them to another state. And when the simple problem is, why didn't, if all of these governors that are complaining, if they would all get together and say, hey, no matter what political party you belong to, we have a problem. And I think if the Democrats and the Republicans got together, one of the callers said it, if they got together and said, this is a problem we have here. How do we handle this problem of the influx coming in here? And how will they be dispersed throughout the country? Now, that is a conversation where, rather than making it just a political issue, the problem is there's an influx of people coming in from a certain direction. How do we handle that problem? But it's being made, we're blaming, everyone's pointing the finger. The Republicans are pointing at the Democrats saying they're doing this. The Democrats are pointing at the Republicans and Republicans going back and forth. It is not a political issue.
Does the government
it is a social issue that the government
it's a legal issue. No, listen, they need to guard our borders. They need to guard our borders.
And they need to know how to properly, there will be an influx of people. There always has been
4.9 million people
there
in
has
the last couple of
always
years.
Been an influx of people. They just come from a different
When
direction.
when does the bathtub get full of water?
When they used to have all of those immigrants coming by the busloads over after World War II from Europe. Okay,
All right.
so the same thing.
I'll take a break.
They handle it.
We'll be back after this. Okay. Again, our government has a responsibility to protect our borders. You can reach me by trains. I don't blame one soul for trying to get here. Not one. Not one.
It's a circular argument. Making it a political issue is making it
But
worse.
of course it's politics. Of course
Yeah,
it is.
and when you fall and because when you get into this deal where all these governors in Arizona and Texas and now Florida, if they would get most of them are looking for
The federal government's caused this problem.
Hold
The
on.
federal
Here's
government
what
has caused it,
we
not
got.
them.
DeSantis is setting himself up to be the new Trump,
and I'll vote for him.
Yeah, and that's what he's doing. He's more Trumpier than Trump. Okay, so those who are being sucked into that, he's not solving a problem.
Maybe we disagree with the man. You should not allow people unfettered access to this
Hold
country.
up. He's not honing in on a problem. He's exacerbating
It ain't his
a problem.
job. That's a federal government's job.
You know what he did? What he did is going to end up being, it's illegal, first of all. And those 50 people there are going to end up in better shape because they're going to end up suing him.
Maybe so. How you going to say you're not a citizen of the United States?
They're going to be citizens of the United States. They have the rights. They have the rights of a human being.
Some liberal lawyer would do it for free, but if Mrs. Jones down there needs a lawyer, they won't do hers. They won't help her.
But what I'm saying is, this political ploy has just made it worse. Like we're not talking about how to solve the problem. We're talking about
Oh, it's a problem.
It's
easy to solve the problem. Don't let people in.
Well, there are people.
Close the borders.
Okay.
That's an easy solution. Somebody's going to always get through.
See, listen at this guy. See, he's blowing that out of proportion. That was, you know what? If you know what that was, he intentionally sent them to Martha's Vineyard because he knows the majority of the population is gone. Okay, the people that own all those houses, that's their summer home.
Sure.
That's a summer retreat. The people who are left there are people who are working and have some home, just very few people. They don't have a whole lot of things there because it's mainly just a vacation place. Everything that comes in has to come in by boat or by plane. Okay? There is no public transportation there because you're not going anywhere. You're on an island. And it's only 15,000 people who occupy the entire island.
Did they say it was a sanctuary city? So it's
sanctuary state.
It's sanctuary state. And that's
so he didn't pick a city where you can go. Yeah. He picked a place, one of the most excluded places in the state, where it made it hard for the people to move, period. Where you gonna go? You're on an island. And it's only set up for a certain number of people. And most of those people are gone. The population that's normally there.
If you don't allow these people unfettered access to this country,
he did that because the majority of the people on that island are Democrats.
Right.
And the majority of them are rich.
Who say don't do as we do as we say do.
But the majority of them are not even there.
Okay.
And what you're left with, if you
when they get home, they have company.
Few of the working class people who live there year round. Yeah. Some of them just take care of the houses. Some of them just do this, and some of them live there. Okay.
When they get home, they have company. Mm-hmm. When they get home, they have some company.
No. He did that. He knew exactly what he was doing, and it makes it appears that the people in Martha's Vineyard, like he said, do as we say, not as we do. No, we don't have the facilities and everything. We'll accommodate them and see that they can get to a place. And that's what they did. The governor worked with them to go ahead and get them to a place, because that became, for those 15,000 people who own that property there, that became a minor incident that they could take care of because they have the money to do it and have the government that works with them to take care of the situation. Now, if they had put them in Boston or in a major city, they would have had places to put them. Right then.
Boston got enough.
Why didn't he take them to Boston? Why didn't he take them to another place in Massachusetts? That would have been prepared.
Because I think
he didn't take them.
He was trying to send a message.
The message was, and what it was a ploy. Because he took them to a place where he knew they couldn't stay.
And he also took them to a place that he knew was going to get publicity. I don't blame him.
Because
they've done everything else.
Presidents, politicians, and actors, and all those people own those properties there. And the majority of them were not there.
They've tried everything else, begging the government to close our borders. They haven't done it.
So all you have to do is say, let's work with those very same people you're trying to tick off. Wanted to work with them and say
they've been working with them for years.
No, they haven't.
They've been working with them.
No, they haven't.
I think Reagan started some of this crap by giving everybody blanket amnesty for being in this country illegally.
Well, that was, and you got to do it again because you got a bunch of
people. And so when does it stop?
They're already here.
I know. So when does it stop?
Well, they're already here.
Okay. So when does that stop?
They're working.
I'm with you.
Do you think every one of those people down there are here legally?
Then here's what we need to do. We need to stop immigration for 5 years.
Here you go. And then what's going to happen?
Some people have jobs. We got enough people in America right now.
Here's what happens. Once you start a system, it's hard to get out of that system.
You just close the borders totally.
No, here's what happened. That's what happened up there in North Alabama when they had all those migrant workers that were up there.
Yeah.
Stuff rotted in the field because it didn't have anybody.
Well, they ought to think about that before they do. But
here's what I'm saying, Kevin. We have a system where we have a working class and we have a class of people who hire the working class. That's it.
Which
has
always
been
that
in
way.
America.
Which has always
been that way. So now, if all we have is workers and the people who hire the workers. That's it. That's America.
Okay, we are back. Good morning to you. Our numbers are 860-1440. I don't know how do we get on immigration?
I don't know. Let's go somewhere. I didn't bring it up. You did.
No.
Let's go somewhere.
Yeah. Bring it. We're talking about the budget last night. It passed.
Yeah, you went from the budget to that.
The budget passed. I'm just trying to figure where the money's coming from. Now I sent one of the councilmen said, well, are there any new fees? Are there any more things that we got to pay extra? I heard that our sewage bill may go up, our sanitation bill may go up, but then they said no, nothing's going up. So how are you going to get $17 million extra without something going up? But hey, maybe they're going to fire people. I don't know.
I thought that was money that was already supposed to be into it, that was coming in.
But they had a surplus. Well, they did have a surplus last year.
Well, you're okay with that.
Okay, but if you got a surplus, why do you want more money? That's just what I didn't quite get that. Good morning, on there. Good morning. Pretty good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that's a pretty good point. I don't know if we ever get to the point within the National Guard, but we do it. Well, yeah, we do, because we don't have enough local police to do it.
Let me answer this, caller. Were those individuals, you said, I heard you use the word illegal aliens. Were they asylum seekers or were they illegal aliens?
You said,
were they? Go ahead. But let me ask you this. We're talking about those 50 individuals. What countries were they from? What countries were they from?
What difference does it make? Right, what difference does it make?
That are on the list of countries to seek asylum. They were on the list of countries that are on the list for asylum. They were in the process of going through being declared asylum seekers. They were in the process. All of those individuals were in that process. Do you know that? They were in the process. They were in a legal process. They were taken out of that legal process to a place that did not have the facilities for that process.
We get that. Yeah.
Sir, they were not in Florida. They didn't come from Florida. They came from Texas. Florida. They were in Texas. The plane came from Florida to Texas to Martha's Vineyard. And it's also illegal because the state legislature of Florida had the money for relocating people from Florida to another place.
Why should you have to relocate anybody that's not supposed to be there?
No, well, I'm answering. See, we're in a conversation answering questions. If I ask a question and you give an answer, and you ask me a question, I give you an answer. Because they were deceived. They had a brochure that the person who recruited them said that they would have a place to stay, they would be given jobs, which was a lie, because they could not be given jobs because they had not gone through the process yet. Hold on. No, they didn't. They were not. After they got to Martha's Vineyard, the people helped them. Okay. Before that, the people, they did not know that they were coming. Okay. There was no facility for them to be in Martha's Vineyard. And DeSantis knew that. There was no transportation that they had when they went to Martha's Vineyard because it is an island. And they had a one-way ticket to an island that
Well,
they had no way
now
to
for
get
that, we
off
got to
of.
take some more calls. I'm running out of time, but I appreciate yours. Good morning on there. Yes.
All right, how are you, sir?
Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to come here illegally. Wait a minute. We complained years ago. Wait a minute. We complained years ago about I think it's a B1 visa, where they would bring a bunch of folks over here to let them take jobs that they say that Americans wouldn't do. That's a bunch of crap. If American's hungry, he'll do it. Let me ask you a question. Let's say, okay, so let me ask you a question. If you go home tonight, no, I got to ask you. I got to make my point. You go home tonight. There's somebody has moved in your house, eaten your groceries, and threw all your stuff outside. No, dude. What would you say about that? Somebody else has moved in your house. They broke in your house, and now they call it their house. Okay, really? They broke in your house, and they call it their house now. Is it their house? Well, it's true. If people break into the country, it ain't their country. Yeah, I know. Okay. This is not This ain't 1700s or the 1800s. Okay. All right. Great. See you later, brother. I gotta take a break. We'll be back. Somebody, you go home tonight and somebody breaking in your house, call me up and tell me how you just let them have it. We'll be back.
Your WSFA First Alert weather forecast on News Radio 40.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know whether you're emotional about it or not, but
No,
I think some
not
people are really emotional about that.
Really?
They really get into it. I mean, really, honestly and truthfully. This illegal immigration or whatever you want to call it has been going on in this country.
Sure. For years.
For years. And as long as there are places, and most of these people who come here, is someone else who has already come in their family, has told them, okay, you can get a job here or whatever. Some of them are skilled, some of them are unskilled, but they're willing to work. Because if you get away from it and you say, well, stand and fight at your country, well, if you're a political prisoner in that country, you can't fight. Because the only thing you can do is go to jail. That's what a lot of them face. See, it's political prosecution. We're not talking about the United States. We're talking places where through no judge or no jury. If the police say you're that, how can you fight? How you gonna? You got the military.
How did we fight?
What we?
Black folks.
What we do? Who did we fight?
We fought everybody.
No, we didn't fight nobody.
Somebody did. A lot of folks died.
Who died? What
fight?
What was the fight?
Coming over on boats and chains and crank.
Well, hold on.
Somebody fought.
We didn't. You know what? The only time we fought, and that's that movie now, The Woman King, those people fought. And look what happened to them.
Well, we kind of chicken.
Look what happened to them. That's a good movie. If you look at that, that is what happened. You know what happened to the Dahomey? Do you know what happened to them? Huh?
What did they say happened to them?
What did they say? We know what happened.
No, you wasn't there, so you don't really
Okay, the Dahomey are now divided up into what we now call Benin, Togo, Ghana, and Nigeria. That is Dahomey.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Dahomey
and
kingdom.
It seemed like to me.
And you know what happened? You know what they did? They know how that happened.
Idi Amin, the people like that took over those places.
Here's what happened. Every country in Africa was divided up where the minority was over the majority. That's why the Dahomey were taken over by the people who were in the minority over them. But they were given the guns to fight against them. They gave each one of those countries, they installed, each country that was colonized had a dictator installed. The first country to come from under a dictatorship and go to democracy was Dahomey.
Mm-hmm.
And you know when that was? In 1990.
Again,
it wasn't until somebody. You know what? Because it's money. You know what they? Here's what you got. Why did you hear about this hurricane going through Hispaniola, right? Hispaniola is Haiti on one side and the Dominican Republic on the other. The Dominican Republic is one of the richest countries down there. Haiti is one of the poorest. Do you know why? Because the Haiti has paid reparations to France through its entire existence. And the only people who were allowed to be in charge in Haiti was an installation of a dictator that did what the French said. Okay? Dominican Republic were those former slaves who just went along with the Spanish and said, okay, yeah, and then the Spanish just let them ease into a democracy. But they always controlled everything. Same thing for the Commonwealth. Every country in the Commonwealth in Africa was allowed to have a dictator.
How did the United States, okay, the folks over here, and I realize the history, these folks came from Britain or came from that part of the world, started a country, had to fight, War of 1812, bunch of wars, civil wars. I mean,
hold on. That was a different one. Hold on.
Somebody died.
There are only two countries in the world that have fought for against slavery. There are only two countries that fought against racial slavery.
Yeah.
It was Haiti and the United States. That's the only two countries in the world.
Right.
Now, look at Haiti. The difference between Haiti and the United States is the United States had resources and it had friends in all those countries.
But
the difference between every African country is they did not have any European.
Well, again,
know who the only ones that helped the Dahomey was the Germans.
Right, but I'm not.
And you know what happened to them?
Right, but what I'm saying is that it seems like to me everybody wants to run over here rather than fight with their own problems in their own country.
Well, they fight for it. Hey, because all those countries were colonized.
Well, you can always make an excuse.
I'm telling you, that's what happened in the colonies.
I'm talking about
every country that's in South America was a colony.
Yeah, I hear you. But
each one of those countries that, like Brazil, look what happens to a former colony.
And we've allowed them folks to take the civil rights laws and that were made basically for black folks and use them to further their own political goals.
Here's what I'm saying, Kevin. So every country, all those countries down there, just like every country in Africa, they were colonies. And what is the language of all those countries? Like the Portuguese were the one, the Dahomey ran the Portuguese out of their country. And they were over in Brazil.
So they wasn't the good people either then.
Who?
So the Dahomey. They ran somebody out of their country?
Yeah, the Portuguese colonists.
Okay, we're back. 860-1440. Got time to take one or two more calls. I don't know how we got here this morning, but we got here some kind. You never quite know. Our show's like a box of chocolates. You never quite know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get.
Good morning. Who's this? Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, no, we're not. Wait a minute. Black folks are not immigrants. We're not immigrants.
We're immigrants too. It's just not voluntary.
We're travelers.
We just weren't voluntary.
Yeah, we would volunteer. But let me ask something. Nobody is against the people who come here. Because like he said, everybody came from someplace. But you have to have a system. You can't invade somebody's country and then expect them to welcome you with open arms. 4.9 million people have come here illegally since Biden has been in office. 4.9 million. Oh, okay. Okay. Doesn't our government have a responsibility? Right, but doesn't our government have a responsibility to protect those borders and stop this invasion? And that's exactly what it is. It's an invasion. Yeah. All right. Appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this? Pretty good. Oh, okay. Well, one minute. Okay, so let me. Well, wait a minute. Hey, listen. When you get DUI and you go to jail for drinking under the influence, they separate you from your kids.
Because you've broken the law.
Here in America, well, they broke the law. They broke into this country.
Those people, he's talking about the people that Martha's finished. They did not break the law.
Well, that's it.
They were not breaking the law.
But let me ask you a question.
They were being processed.
Okay. Well, that I can't say. But don't we have a right? Right. And I'm here with you, but I must tell you, there's one fact that is incontrovertible. Okay, we as America have borders, and those borders should be protected. And you shouldn't allow 4.9 million people, illegal people, crossing those borders into this country. Okay, and I'm with Trump. Stay in Mexico. If you're gonna claim the whatever that word, I forgot that word you guys use, asylum, then you need to be able to prove that you have been a victim of some political ploy because of your status. We don't know that when they come here, but we do have a responsibility to protect our country.
They were in that process. Run.
Not always. Not always now. Not always. What? Okay. Well, the fact is, though, we do. But the fact is, we got 4.9 million people coming to this country illegally since Biden's been in office. That's a fact. That's a fact, though. I got that. As a matter of fact, I'll give you my reference here. So you think 4.9 million people are seeking asylum? Okay. Why don't they fight? Why don't they fight? Why don't they claim their country? Why don't they defend their country? Why don't they fight the people who are doing it? Well, okay, well, no. I'm not, and again, I'm not blaming the people. I'm not blaming. Yeah, yeah, right. Okay, but right, but let me be clear. I don't blame the people for coming. I would come, but our government has a responsibility to make sure that we're not invaded, inundated by illegal entrants.
No, you know what?
We have a
It's all about
responsibility for that.
relationships. It's all about relationships. The relationship between Canada and the United States is different than those colonies.
One more call, and we're gonna call this morning because I don't make policy
It's
for the border.
about relationships.
Yeah. Good morning. Yes, quickly, because you got about a minute. Mm-hmm. Mm. Well, all right, I gotta go. Well, that's about it. Let's see. Tomorrow, I got Dr. Sean Merrick who's come join us for an hour on our religious conversation Thursday, and then Friday. So tomorrow is Friday Eve. Hopefully, we'll still be here. You know, I love Friday Eves because that makes me. Tomorrow's the last day of PT for the week, so we'll be ready to roll. So have a great day, everybody. Donald, thank you for coming as always, giving us an invigorating, thoughtful conversation.
Always a pleasure.
You're wrong most of the time.
Okay.
We'll see.
Oh yeah. But you know what, Kevin? It's a matter of relationship, and you see, I love history, and I love to know if you know where something started, you know where it ends up, and it's inevitable. All of the colonies throughout the world, whether it's in Africa or South America, all of them have gone through the exact same thing. They've been a former colony that has been more of a burden, and then they go into a dictatorship, and then they go through a series because it's short. It's through a short period of time. See, it's not a long period of time that they go through this. See, all of those countries in Africa, every country in Africa